developing story we've been following all day. Young men with mental issues sold for sex to wealthy men all across Connecticut. Two of those alleged Johns busted today. One of them is successful businessman from Glastonbury, the other sex offender from Westport. Authorities say the ringleader was operating out of Danbury. He's also being named. News 8's Bob Wilson is live with this disturbing story.
Yeah, very disturbing, because if you think about it, if I said, hey, there's sex trafficking going on here in Connecticut, you might think, maybe not. Just alone the fact that it has allegedly been going on for 2 decades between these 3 men, and now more arrests are likely.
So here's how the sex trafficking worked here in Connecticut. According to the arrest warrant, Robert King was the ringleader. In all, he allegedly sold 15 boys or young men. Some were institutionalized, others he found on the street. One he even befriended while the guy was rummaging through a dumpster. Court documents say that's how he operated. He preyed on young men with diminished capacity. Quote, Robert King, going back approximately 20 years, sought out young men with varying degrees of psychological disabilities for the purpose of using these individuals for prostitution. King would then offer them work, food, money, and drugs and sell them for about $200 to $250 to William Trefsker of Westport and Bruce Bemmer, the owner of Bemmer Propane Company in Glastonbury. Last year, the FBI served a search warrant for the offices of the propane company.
Now, according to court papers, this is where Bemmer lives, on Sherwood Drive in Glastonbury. And it's not clear whether or not he had the boys delivered here to his home, but in the court documents it says they were delivered to his office as well as to hotels. And people in the neighborhood, it's a very quiet area here, and they want to keep it quiet. They didn't want to go on, but people very surprised and shocked at the news.
Sex trafficking is more common than you might think. Enough of a problem that the state has a sex trafficking task force because Connecticut falls between New York and Boston.
The human trafficking that we have been investigating, the cases that we have seen happen in some of our larger cities and some of our more rural communities.
The task force not only investigates cases coming up the interstate highway, but on the information highway as well. Traffickers use personal ads on websites to sell these exploited teens online.
Human trafficking, as a result of the availability of these websites and the use of these websites, the cases are becoming much more prevalent.
Much more prevalent, and keep in mind, Bemmer actually admitted in court documents that he's been doing this, buying boys on the black market, for more than 20 years. I'm Bob Wilson reporting live, News 8.